Hi friends. Well, I don't want to get out of the habit of turning the webcam on and talking with you. So here I am. I have two journals prepared. One is 12D communication, the very first one I ever did. I don't know if I'll do that or not, but I also have this journal that I know I want to share with you. It's from 11/11, and the first one of that day, the day was 3 Ahau, or sun, Lord, or light, really. And that's really sacred. That's the last of the 20 Mayan sun signs. And 3 is a beautiful energy of flow. When you have 1, you don't have it. When you have 2, you have a duality. But when you have 3, you can get the triangle and you can get the flow. And besides which, it was 11/11, and every year that's a special day, the 10/10, 11/11, 12/12. You know, it's not going beyond the 12/12 simply because we don't have 13 months, so there can't be a 13/13. I mean, so that's kind of interesting. You know, the date would work, but since there's no 13th month, I guess the 12/12/12 is the conclusion of yet another cycle of energies. Okay, so here we go. I don't know whether to meditate or to pray and journal or what. I just know there is some pressure within to communicate. So here I am to see if this works, to see what comes out, and if it relieves this pressure, whatever it is. Sometimes it can be like that. We are being birthed, my friends. Birthed via DNA alteration into a whole nother state. Humanity 2.0. Maybe it's 3.0. I mean, when we were originally created, I don't buy into coming up from apes. Ain't happening. Nor Neanderthal. So we were a truly divine being that was DNA engineered down from, I believe anyway, from 12 DNA strands down to 2. It'll be really interesting when we recover our memories and get to remember how that all went down. Know that you know everything. You're in your soul, in your spirit, in your higher self. You know and remember everything. So it's not something, the only reason to go out and research something is to get that resonance from within to help remind us. It's not informing us, it's reminding us so that we remember, because we have had our memories dismembered and we chose it. So no whining, you know, no griping, no pointing fingers of blame here. We chose to come into this. We are divine. We are little g gods. And no one is forcing us into anything. So take your power back. Pull the weeds, whatever beliefs you have, where you're pointing fingers at anyone or anything, at any point in history, at any group of beings. That's to play the victim. I didn't used to know that. But the more and more that seems to be falling away as we let go of things, other things clarify. It's an amazing adventure we're on. Okay, so we are being birthed into a whole nother state. What that will be, though widely reputed to be an ascension of sorts, I say it remains to be seen. Now, I will go as far as to say that, yeah, it is a rising or an ascension in frequency, in rate of vibration. Whether that turns out to be into a whole new density or dimension or multiple ones remains to be seen. You know, we're writing the plan as we go. And whatever it is, it'll be fine with me. As long as I am loyal to this now moment, whatever it brings, I know I am covered, so to speak. By that, I mean being in the best possible point or frame of reference to take greatest advantage of what is offered by life, by source, by cosmos. Heart is the place to be, no matter what should arise or not arise. I hope you know that. It doesn't matter. Heart is the universal best or trump station to occupy, no matter what. Silence is also important, though. For those who think they can be in mind and also in heart, well, good luck with that. I don't see it, but then I am not walking in other shoes but these bare feet. So you know what's true for you, and maybe you can do it. I'm not saying you can't. So, seeing to self is critical now. It's no longer a luxury or something it would be, nice to do. Self and now. These two encompass my territory, if you will. My true identity is the all that is and is not. The all that is and is not. But I refer to 3D, where sticking to self and now is ideal. Using mind is not bad nor wrong in the least. It's just a way to stay stuck in and to 3D, which is not my choice just now. This is not a fruitful time for those who don't believe we have free will. Why is that? Well, because they're not using theirs. Instead, they're letting themselves be carried along by the force of the herd flow. There are all sorts of swirling energies now vying for man and woman's attention and loyalty. It's an ideal time to highly respect our gift of free will. Those who don't respect it don't or won't have it for long. It's like that with pretty much anything, don't you know? We choose based on where we place our attention and on what intentions we set. These are choices, but those with other beliefs, such as the no free will, won't see them like that. Well, that's their loss. Cut your ties to anyone and anything that may be holding you down, encouraging you to be in a flow that doesn't feel native or natural to your heart, your soul, your being, your consciousness, whatever we call it, yourself. Be loyal to your own heart, your own higher self, to source. Be careful what you let count in your life in these key and critical days. Now, why be so careful? Because it is thus that you're creating your future, your reality. This hasn't been known widely for some thousands of years, but it's come to the fore now, and many are coming to recognize how this works, how we create. Every thought counts. Literally, you are a creator, no matter whether you believe it or not. that part truly doesn't matter. To choose not to believe is a choice to blind yourself to certain things, important ones. Now, still, it is a legitimate choice. The only one we're in charge of is the self, so let's remember to respect our brethren's choices, whatever they are. They too have the same hugely powerful higher self as we do. Trust in that, even if not in them. The higher self is the direct link to Source. Well, actually, it is Source, but one step at a time is enough. So, what are you doing for you? Are you actively learning to love the self, reaching out or reaching in and doing that? That's perhaps the most key, critical, and powerful thing you could do, especially if it makes you uncomfortable, as it does with most of us. Everything else springs from that love. Our past programming flies straight in the face of self-love, but that's all right. Remember, please, you are divine. Nothing can hold you back. Just find yourself first. It's not a step we can skip. All the time and energy you put into developing this self-love will hugely bless and benefit not just you, but all of us. Love works like that. It's fractal. You don't go to a doctor that's sick to be healed. You can't go to someone without that vital self-love and expect to be blessed or guided. They may try, but they haven't got it to give. And that's the state of maybe most of us. Better yet, go to the woman, the man, the one with the empty cup. When you find that one, go and sit at their feet for a time. The empty cup is ideal, for it can mean, if they are heart-centered, that they are clear and open to the flow from on high, Source and higher self. It is not that one who knows, it is not that one who knows what is your greatest need. It is Source. And through higher self, the higher self of you and that one, Source will deliver just that, just what you require. If you are already fine with or well on the way to full uncovering of the divine self-love, for it's in there, you don't have to gin it up. That love, that divine unconditional love, already exists, just needs to be uncovered. So my best advice is to be about getting out of your own way. That's what I find. I'm always in my own way. Now is time to empty the cup of all dross, all attachment to anything in 3D. Let love and truth be your standards. Follow only that. The more the mind submits to heart, the better shape you are in to be the cup of cool water to the one in need of it. Now again, mind is not evil, not bad, not at all. There is, in truth, no such thing as evil or bad. Not once you renounce mind's judgment for heart's universal love. And it's even simpler than that. You just step up in frequency and judgment falls away. It's one of those things that just disappears, like your interest in so many things that used to interest you, and now it's just gone. Well, our DNA is being adjusted and our frequency is rising, and it is truly an effortless trip from one very important perspective. Mind is simply the way we're attached and bound to 3D. While mind has tremendous potential to be other than that, right now the whole world's societies are programmed to stick to the lower frequencies of 3D. The programming is done via the mind. Do you see? So by choosing heart over mind, you are, in effect, choosing higher dimensions and densities over staying in the lower frequencies. That's what I mean when I caution against mind. For those whose true destiny is to yet spend more time in 3D, mind is perfect. So if that's you, don't listen to this other. Only what resonates. Throw everything else out. You may be the Buddha or the avatar that is sticking around to be the hope for those who remain in 3D. You've got to be true to you, and no one can tell you what your divine plan is. You've got to figure that out. Once again, it's a critical choice we all make based on where we place the weight of our attention, our intention, our awareness. Thus is our future created via right now. How are you with this so far? Is it two-way out for you? Or, better yet, what points of resistance do you find within yourself? It's best to jot them down or even journal them more formally. Get the heart flowing with sharing communion with higher self and record it. Take it down. This is far more magical than it sounds, but you'll never know it if you don't put it to use. Don't expect the first, second, or third journal to be quite so magical. Better yet, don't have any expectations at all. Just write. It may come out blazing right out of the chute. It's been too long now for me to recall back when I was new to journaling. All I recall is that I was a lonely child without really knowing that. So my originals, my journals, all started out as letters to God. They all started out with, "Dear God." Somehow that just helped the words and the heart to flow, and it would just go from there. Do what works for you. Recognize and realize that you are what amounts to what I call a little g God. You are divine. And you haven't wasted eternities doing nothing, developing nothing. You are ready. And further, you are complete. You are the equal to anything, any task that arises. Do not underestimate the self. Claim your divine nature. Own it. This is a most important use of free will. It is not arrogant. Not at all. And when you look into this, I think you'll see all the barriers that have been placed by society and by your upbringing and training and teaching and all of that between you and your higher self, between you and God. You know, God has been made out to be something so far away and so perfect, and we're not, and all that other mishmash of nonsense. Throw it out. Throw it out. It's just not right. It won't get you there. It doesn't resonate with truth. That's been my experience. Only mind can be arrogant, friends, never heart. Only heart is real, never mind. Choices here, choices everywhere. Make them wisely, from within, from your own internal intuition. You are as special as it gets. You have many ongoing embodiments happening right now. All of them, past, present, future, all happening just now. They're alive. You're alive in them. It takes getting out of mind to come to terms with this, to begin to experience it. Just acknowledging the possibility, though, is a great start. Always start where you are, and don't push yourself. Anytime you find yourself feeling pushed, stop and look. I bet I know what you'll discover, that it's mind doing that, never heart. You have been kings and queens and royalty. Many, many of us have also played the parts of gods and goddesses. Get used to it. Hey, eternity is quite a long time, and we like variety. We want to come at this love thing from every angle that exists. So we take on some pretty wild and crazy things. Now remember, no comparing yourself to anything or anyone that's in 3D. You go so far beyond this that only holds you back. Let it all go. Link up with heart and just let imagination run wild. Hey, why not, right? What can it hurt? And besides, it might just prime the pump and get the heart communication flow going for you. Lighten up on the self 100 times over in 1,000 different ways. Make space for you. It's mind that grasps things so very tightly. See if you can just let go. Above all, let go of who you think you are, of who you've been taught that you are, of who you think you've always been and will always be. Light a bonfire for that. Burn it up. Offer the smoke of it as incense of love, an offering to Source, to higher self. Let them fill you in. Invite your spiritual guides in to help you toss everything on that flame that needs to go, that can go just now. Set it afire. Find out just how much DNA of the phoenix bird you may have. And that can be a spiritual fire too, for those of you who are more visual. But, sometimes I write things down and I get out a cast iron pot or something that will take the heat and I burn it up. And so I'm offering literal smoke. Set yourself free, my friends. Don't wait for someone else, some hero or savior or genius or some benevolent ET to come in and free you. That's your job. You've got absolutely everything you need to do this. Now it's just up to your choice. What will you choose? Bondage and continued slavery, or the unsure wings of complete and total freedom in heart? In any one moment, sure, it may seem that the requirements, the surrendering seemingly required by the heart path is immense. Well, I've got news for you. That is the mind's view, and the mind is quite clueless about anything having to do with heart, with your divinity. You can educate it, but right now, don't let it be in charge. Don't trust mind. That's a good place to start. Begin by self-observing, watching for how the mind handles you. You won't have to be told it's time for you to be handling the mind instead. It just comes naturally when your heart's centered. Trust that you've got what it takes. I promise you do. Namaste.